Right, a histogram is just a glorified bar chart. It has some special properties to it that we'll see in a second. It always has two axes. The x-axis is always the variable that you're interested in this case the DRP score. The y-axis is always counts. To figure out what numbers will go on this axis below, what we want is usually if we're hand drawing a histogram, we're usually thinking about 5 separate, what they're called, classes. And to figure out the widths of those classes so we can draw our bars, the best way to do it is find the lowest and the highest number, and then find what we call the range of the data set. And if we want to divide it into 5 separate bars, what I want to get this range to a number that can be divisible by 5. And so we always want to round up, so we make sure we include all our values. So we'll round up to 35. Oops, sorry, just gave the secret away. Divide by 5, and then each class will be worth 7. Now we know we have 5 bars, and it'll fit all of the numbers that we have in our data set. So start with the minimum number, just go and add 7 each time. Notice that it's okay that I started at 14, even though 0 to 14 doesn't match the rest of the scale. That's fine, it's just once you start into the scale, all those spaces have to be the same. Okay, so my first bar is going to contain values between 14 and then all the way up to, but not including, 21. That's the rule on the histogram. The number on the tick mark on the left of the bar is included. The one on the right of the bar is not included. So let's go through and let's just count off how many in each case and then draw the graph. So between 14 and in this case 20, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5, so we're going to draw a bar up to 5. And remember, this bar does not include 21. The next bar will include 21. We'll go from 21 all the way up to, but not including, 27. So I've got 1, 2, 3. I have 3, so as long as there's data in each point, the bars are going to be touching. From 28 to 35, so 28 to 34 in this case, we have 1, 2, only 2 of them. And from 35 to 41, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the rest of the data from 42 to 49. In this case, if there were a 49, it would be okay because it's at the end of the graph. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers left over. There's no reason why I couldn't have spaced out the values a little bit more on the counts axis. I just didn't know what the counts would be before we were done with them. If I change the class widths around, obviously the diagram would look a little bit different. That's why we don't want too many. It'd stretch it out too much, and you wouldn't really notice any picture. And if the class widths were too wide, then this would just be one big bar, and that wouldn't tell us anything either.